What is up, peoples of YouTube? I'm the Motorcycle Mick, and today we are taking a look at the Saddlemen G Explorer seat.
That's crazy.
So when looking at a seat for a motorcycle, you want to make sure you're going to have comfort and reliability. And for those long hauls, you're going to have something that's going to really seat you in a place that's going to be comfortable and make you feel at home while riding your motorcycle. And the problem is that a lot of factory seats don't actually have that ability, especially from Harley-Davidson. The seats have a little bit of comfortability to them, like the ones that factory off my bike was comfortable, but also at the same time it could have been a lot better. And I'm not really a fan of leather seats anymore. The leather seat, it gets hot, especially in the summer, and it helps you sweat, and you get swamp ass in that area down there. It's not great. But before I get too far into that, if you are new to this channel, we've been watching for a very long time, hit that subscribe button down below. I upload new videos every Tuesday around 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I do a live stream every Thursday. I started wondering what I wanted to see for my motorcycle. I started looking at reviews. There's different ones like Corbin, LaPera, there's Saddlemen, there's Ultimate. All of them seem great, but then there's another big cost you have to look at, especially for Harley-Davidsons, is that the seats are super expensive. Price is a factor in these seats, and where the cheapest ones can be anywhere from like 250 bucks up to almost $1,000 plus. You want to find something that's going to be best for you. For me, with research and time, I found the Saddlemen G Explorer. Now, because of my handy dandy handlebar mount, I can show you guys this right here from a better angle. And looking down the bike, you can see it comes in, and then you have these 4 little pads. What these 4 pads do is channel air underneath your butt and your crotch area and filter it out so that you have air constantly underneath, keeping you from getting that swamp ass. Along with these pads being memory foam, there's a gel coat underneath that sets down in there. This is also a waterproof material, kind of like a wetsuit. So it's not gonna, if it gets water on it, it's not gonna absorb it. It's just gonna wick it off. You do have some leather finishing on this seat around the edges, and then you have this nice big feature right here. If you guys remember, I had a backrest on my other seat. I had to get a grasshopper backrest, and I really didn't like that. Also, the fact that it was starting to hurt my back when I took it off because the mount was still in there. So I found something like this, where it's got the big sweep up. This also, if you are a shorter person, sets you down a little bit, which allows you to be able to have better reach of touching the ground. So it's supportive, yet it has some really good added benefits too, is the fact that it helps you on long rides. Now, people might say this is an old man's seat, but honestly, this is somewhere looking for long rides and comfortability, especially when drag racing. I don't want to have that seat back on there. Something else that if something does happen, I have to worry about. This right here is its own single piece, and it's extremely comfortable. You can also notice right here that it's noticeably wider around where your butt is, so it kind of has that whole wraparound, and so you get that nice feel where your legs are, but at the same time your butt sits nicely into this channel. And the same thing goes to say for the rider seat in the back. And also, because of the executive order, I'm not allowed to go riding, so the crinkling you hear is just from something else, maybe opening a sandwich. And my riding gear on the bike is just so I can feel like I went riding. Yeah.
Meanwhile, in Mexico...
Ah, that felt good. By the way, this Saddlemen seat I'm using right now is super comfortable. Huh. So you move back to the back passenger seat. It still has that style of seat where it's kind of got the out U-shape to it, so you still have that support going out, but also you can have easy access to your saddlebags. Actually, I think I have better access to my saddlebags with this seat on here than I did with my factory one. This is also a lot thicker compared to the factory seat. This is like 4 inches thick, so my passenger is going to have the same features I do with these channels right here, so that the air flows through. They do still sit a little bit higher than you do, but at the same time it's not really a worry. And when it comes to installing this seat, the one problem I did run into with the backrest was a little bit difficult to get on because it sits higher, so you might need a bigger backrest bar or to figure out how to fit that in there. But the way it looks is my passenger's going to sit on there, have that comfort, and still have the backrest right at the small of their back versus having it kind of middle lower, which can be uncomfortable. So you can see in a seated riding position, I'm actually quite comfortable. My back is supported, but not too much, so if I do want to lean back, I have that a little bit, but on the bottom side where my butt is, the support is there. My access to the ground is a lot easier because this is going to drop you probably 1.5 to 2 inches compared to the factory seat because it's got that inset swoop. It's also comfortable in the riding position. What I've noticed when I was not putting miles on this seat is that the comfortability level is a 10 out of 10. And the more it breaks in, so there is, I mean, like with every seat you have a little bit of a break-in period, but the seat broke in really fast to my butt. And that also might be a weight thing, but also with my height, I am 6 foot tall and I have easy access to the ground. And when I'm up like this in my seated riding position, I have more of a relaxed seated position where my hands are over my feet almost perfectly and my back is being supported in a straight up line to help with fatigue while riding long distances. So you can see my legs are actually tucked in a little bit more than with the other ones, which is not a worry, but also helps with reach on the seat and comfortability and while riding and stopping. So if you are a shorter person, it allows you to be closer to the ground. Because I do have a break in my knees. With the other one, I was maybe up a little bit higher like this. And now I feel like my position is more linear than it is elevated going my arms down. So from Michigan, I did take the bike down to Mexico and put some miles on it to be able to test out how this seat is. But for my safety and for, I guess, prosecution reasons, because whoever knows what Gretchen Whitmer is going to do, I did not want to post it. There will be more content related to this seat and riding on it over time, but I can say I've probably put like 50 to 100 miles on the seat, and it is super comfortable. It was a little stiff at first, and that's a little bit off-putting to some people, but with a little bit of time, it set in perfectly. But I absolutely love this thing. It's comfortability, and if you look at it, the bike as a whole, and you guys did see this seat in the other video with the new LED lights. If you haven't seen those yet, go check them out in the video before this, which is my Rogue Riders industry video. Overall, I think it's a great seat for the price. I think it's about $450 shipped from Revzilla, and honestly, I couldn't ask for anything better. It's a lot less expensive than the other ones, and the comfortability of it is far greater than my factory seat was, even though my factory seat was actually pretty comfortable. Let me know in the comment section down below what seat you have. If you do have one of these, let me know about it, because honestly, you need to have one. Saddlemen seats are comfortable, but this whole gel thing, and yeah, some people might say it's an old man seat, but I can protect myself for the future by having stuff that's way better for me now than having that comfortability later on. But for now, that's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. We hit past 1,000 subscribers. The announcement for the 1,000 subscriber live stream and giveaway is coming up soon. And some other stuff going on this bike. It's gonna be awesome. And as always, I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, tea, brunch, lunch, nightcap, midnight snack, crumpet, McGriddle, bacon sandwich. And remember to always ride for freedom and comfy ass seats.
I'm that animal, madman, coming straight out of the trash can. But I ain't stopping till I see my name in lights like Batman. Turning the best like a yucca hand, hold it back and sandbag and play it close to the chest. I call my bars a mammogram, why would have been it? See me pop up like the hip with spam, ring and fire in a minute. So my nickname should be Instagram, my style if you cringing.